Look at a map of the Middle East. Now ask yourself one simple question. Who decided these borders? Because these lines weren't drawn by the people who lived there. They weren't shaped by culture, history, or geography. And that's why over a century later, conflict still refuses to end. This isn't just history. This is the origin story of instability. Before World War I, most of the Middle East was part of the Ottoman Empire. For centuries, the region wasn't divided into modern nation-states. Power was local. Communities were connected by religion, tribe, trade, and geography. Then the war ended, and suddenly, the empire collapsed. What followed wasn't freedom. It was a negotiation. Behind closed doors in Europe, British and French officials began drawing borders on maps of lands they had never lived in, not to create stability, but to protect their own interests. In 1916, one agreement quietly set everything in motion. Sykes-Picot. Two European powers dividing the Middle East with rulers and pencils. No local voices, no consultation. Tribes were split across borders overnight. Historic rivals were forced into the same political systems. Mountains, ignored. Rivers, ignored. Languages, religions, identities, ignored. Countries were created on paper, not on reality. And the consequences were immediate and permanent. When a state doesn't match its people, it has to rely on force to survive. Many of these new countries were born fragile. They required strong men, military rule, or external support just to stay together. This wasn't accidental. A divided region was easier to influence, easier to control, easier to exploit. And while borders stayed fixed, tensions grew beneath the surface. Every generation inherited the same unresolved problems, just in different forms. When modern conflicts erupt in the Middle East, they often look sudden. But they're not. They're the result of systems built on instability from day one. Borders that don't reflect identity. States that struggle to represent everyone inside them. Power structures designed to survive, not to unify. The map didn't just divide land. It divided trust. And once the trust was broken, it was never fully repaired. Here's the uncomfortable question. If these borders created so many problems, why haven't they changed? Because redrawing borders is dangerous. It threatens existing power. It risks even greater chaos. So the world chose a different path. Manage instability instead of fixing it. Contain it, freeze it, live with it. Maps don't just show the world, they shape it. They lock decisions into generations. And the borders drawn after World War I are still shaping lives today, long after the men who drew them are gone. But here's the real question we haven't answered yet. What happens when borders no longer hold? That's a story for another video. If you want to understand how history quietly controls the present, subscribe to Knowva. Because the past isn't over. It's just waiting to be noticed.